Okay, everybody, today we are watching why Gen Zers will never own anything. Lock in.
Subscription models were first started as a good thing and date back to the 17th century. They were meant to give an alternative to people who couldn't afford something at the time. In the 1860s, milk delivery services in the UK officially became a subscription service. Streaming services were
Like, imagine getting milk back in the day, though. Like, you just ran out of milk. Instead of just going buying from the store, you have to wait for your milkman to come. And I feel like it always come in this weird, like, very small glass. Like, I don't know if you're allowed more than, like, a certain amount. Or, like, you could pay for more. And plus, wouldn't it be warm? I don't think you're allowed to have milk, like, lukewarm, just in the, like, weather like that, just in a carton. I'm not too sure, because I feel like you'd have to ask, like, your great-grandpa, I'm pretty sure, or something like that. See how it actually was. But, like, he's basically like a newspaper boy back in the day, bringing milk like that. It would just be such a weird experience. And like their job would be a milkman. Wouldn't want to be called a milkman, to be truthfully honest.
bought by people because you could access a ton of content without having to buy the actual media every time. And people went in at the time
So much better. Like, subscriptions platforms are so good. Like, instead of just you watching cable and watching through the worst show in your life, you can just pick. But the main problem with that is because it ruins like the enjoyment when your favorite show comes up when it's just been crap over and over again. It makes the show 10 times better rewarding wise.
with the thought of, wow, so much stuff. This is such a great price.
Honestly, what's with all the streaming platforms and having one good show? It's like I want to watch something like Homelander or The Flash, different shows. It's like I end up going Netflix or I have three: Netflix, Disney, and Stand. None of them have any of the shows. Oh, this new show came out. It looks really good. Guess what? It's not on any of the ones you own. It's like, bro, man. Like, come on. Give me the shows that I want to watch. That's not on, okay, good show here, here, here. These two platforms that no one's owning here, here. It's so annoying. That's why a lot of people end up, like, paying for a subscription, using it for, like, a month, and then switching like that. Which makes the most amount of sense, since you get good of all the worlds. But I feel like it's just so annoying. Like, couldn't they just keep it on one platform or something? It's just so irritating.
Surely they won't increase the price every year by 5% and remove every show I like. Oh wait. Yeah, there's
Honestly.
honestly one post that inspired me to make this entire video.
Well, there's one thing, on Netflix a couple of days ago, I ended up feeling like watching some Harry Potter. Only the first two movies, but in my opinion, when he starts getting older, it starts getting really, really dog shit Harry Potter. So I ended up going on Netflix the other day, tried to find it, it doesn't exist on Netflix. It's like, bro, man, let me watch my Harry Potter show, which is a very, very good show, and then just don't have it. It's just the most worst feeling you could have in the whole entire world in the end.
Video, and you may have probably already heard about it. DoorDash announces buy now, pay later partnership with Klarna. Like, how can you see this as a human being and think the world is doing okay? Imagine getting your car repoed because you were a year late on that Chipotle burrito order you bought one day. It looks like more and more that not only have we turned into a subscription.
Like, I understand when stuff gets, like, really expensive, you have to pay and for stuff like that. But when it comes out to Chipotle, just spend the $7, which is your order. Like, why are you paying $2 like a month for it? Just pay it out. It's $11. There's no way if you don't have $11 to your name, why are you buying Chipotle in the first place, man? It is completely nuts. Like, with big purchase, like a monitor, stuff like that, it actually costs a decent amount of money, like $400, or something even like $100. It makes sense if you don't have the money, but something like Chipotle, food services, it's just like, bro, just pay it. Like, I understand if your pay is the next day and you could, like, do, like, payments of 2 or something, but, like, payments of 4 when it goes out for, like, 4 months, it's like, what are you doing, man? It's just insane.
Subscription-based society, but we're turning into a buy now and pay later society. Soon enough, everything's gonna have a Klarna
Bro,
tag on
where I am, everybody uses PayPal. PayPal is absolutely godly.
it, and you can buy now, pay later with it. Need to get on the subway but don't have $1? 4 easy payments of 25 cents each month. Need an Uber to drop you off somewhere but don't got the money? 4 easy payments of $5 a
Like,
month.
bro,
It's
it's just
wild
pay
guess
the
generation that uses the
$15.
subscription model the most. According to stats, 93% of Gen Z have at least one subscription service. And we're the
It makes sense. Honestly, at least 70% of them is TV shows, or like, what's it called, Crunchyroll, anime shows, anything like that like has a service. People are honestly paying for it in, like, subscription wise. But when it comes down to random shit, even, like, I'm pretty sure there's some subscriptions for games, like, oh yeah, like PlayStation games and stuff, like exclusives, like PlayStation exclusives. I'm pretty sure it's when you pay like $11 like a month, so you get like free games every month. Same with Xbox, like stuff like that makes sense in like in your mind because like, oh, if I pay $11, I get a free game every like month. That's actually a steal. You might get scammed, but like it's just good in the end. But it adds up. Like after like a year, that's like $100, and after like five, that's $500 in games you play once. It makes sense why people do it, and it is decent for shows and stuff. But like,
The biggest drivers of this whole subscription economy. And I'm calling it now. Give it a couple
yeah, but when it comes down like very small payments, it's like $5 a month. Just pay it, man.
of
Get
years and
20
will be the biggest
bucks.
drivers in the buy now pay later model. I think at the end of Gen Z's run, just like how every generation has certain things they're known for, we'll be known as the generation that own nothing. Before the subscription model dominance, everyone would save up to
Yeah, but it's the same with mortgages and cars. You technically buy it, but then you pay it off, but like they're very expensive, so it makes sense. But like some people be spending it on anything, like they'll pick up groceries. Oh, I'll pay it in the next 4 months. It's like, bro, why are you picking up groceries? I understand, like I understand if you have kids, it makes sense. But if you're by yourself, bro, like I don't know what you're doing.
actually buy things. If it was music, you went to a record store and bought the music of whoever you wanted to. If it was games, you went to the game store and bought whatever games you wanted. And a lot of times I feel like Gen Z forgets that we grew up in these times before everyone switched. Like everyone got their own childhood game collection growing up. And
Bro, I don't know what I was thinking when I was little. Instead of like actually buying games, I had the PS4. Instead of buying games online, I just bought the disc instead. Don't ask me why I did this. I just did it anyway. It was just like, oh, I have this disc. I could have just bought it on the PlayStation, but I have the disc in the end. You got your little airplane PS4 sounding that's filled with like 1,000 dust, and you chose a disc. Like, I'm pretty sure isn't disc also more expensive nowadays, so like it's not really worth it.
it's sad to know, after the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One release, everyone slowly had their collection stacking up less and less with the new generations of consoles.
Bro, at my dad's, there's like we have like a PS3, and there's just was games everywhere down there. It's nuts. Like there was a cabinet full of PS3 games.
I remember the feelings vividly of going to my homie's house and seeing what type of games they had in their collections. And I understand why people wouldn't want to go out to the store every time a new game releases. But the feeling
Yeah.
of getting that game.
Like when it comes down to very big games, and it's a very big lineup where people are camping, so they get their first games, like basically like the PS5 launches and stuff. It's like you'd rather be inside and just get it like that. It's just more convenient in the end.
Game and that saran wrap and the beautiful packaging, it was just better. And I never
Also, because I live in a small-ish towns, like towns near us, it's so annoying, right? When you try to buy a game, you see a game online that you really want, you see YouTubers play on it, and just it seems like a very enjoyable game that you want to play. You go into the store, and they just don't have it. They don't sell it. I've ran on a stock and they just don't sell it. It absolutely drives you insane. Like you might have walked like 20, 30 minutes or drove like 10 minutes to get there, gone out your way just for there to be zero games that you want. And you got the clearance section, all shit games. I've never found an actually really good game from the clearance section. It's just like no one's buying them, so they put it on it.
never was one of the people that waited in line at midnight to get a game drop, but seeing the old videos of people waiting for the
Yeah.
new Call of Duty to drop or anything is so
You
nostalgic.
gotta feel sorry for the employees though, basically getting bum rushed, and then afterwards, do you have any games? No, we sold out. And they absolutely crash out. They should be being paid more than the minimum wage to do with these people.
And people's first worries with digital content taking over for the next generations was that because you didn't physically own it, they could take it at any moment and there's nothing you could do. But everyone
When it comes down to your PS4 getting banned, I'm pretty sure you can just get like that.
thought surely that would never happen. And that's too preposterous. How dare they? Until Sony tried it in 2023. Sony in 2023 announced it was going to remove Discovery Channel content for every PlayStation user's library because their licensing agreement was expiring. And the most interesting fact of this entire thing I learned is that Mythbusters has a game. I thought the Discovery
Really?
Channel was just lions fighting and I didn't know they had something like that.
Yeah, Discovery Channel is the middest channel ever. You put it on, see some random shit, you fall asleep, and just some another random shit wakes you up. It's like, why am I here, man? Even like me being my age, even the kids' channel's better than this shit.
They're back. And when they first announced it, you would think they would have at least told
Not gonna lie, cooking shows are kind of fire. Like, I've watched a lot of the cooking shows. You got Kitchen Nightmares, it was airing a lot. You got other like small ones. They are so enjoyable to watch. I don't know why. It could be like a mid-ass cooking show, but it's still so entertaining in the end.
People whether or not they were getting refunds, but they had zero mention of it. So people got pissed off the fact that they were gonna take away the games people bought and not give them a refund. They announced a couple weeks after that they're reversing the decision and managed to update the licensing arrangements. But if they were able to update it so fast, then why the didn't they do that in the first place? It's looking like Sony was
They were trying to like yoink people's money, and the community was like, "Nah, fuck you. You're giving this back." And they got so much hate, so they end up reverting it, which is respectable on the people. I wouldn't like it either if I spent like thousands, also like very old console people, thousands of dollars on games just from say, "Oh, I'm yoinking this now." Bye. Like, it would be so blood-wrenching annoying.
testing the waters to see what they could get away with at first. And I think things like this is a big part, and when people talk about Gen Z is the generation that will never own anything. No matter how annoying getting a physical copy will get, at least you know you 100% own it. And if Sony could do something like this potentially, then imagine all the major gaming storefronts. They probably got it written in the middle of the 1,000-page term.
Yeah, and the smallest font ever, which is unseeable, but you bring it to court. You see it written like that, you have to get a magnifying glass, 10 times zoom it just to see the tiniest pixelated font at the bottom there.
Conditions that they could do it. Which is why I personally always read all terms and conditions in length before signing anything. Not risking them putting in small text that they could take my soul in any moment if I disobey them. Another reason on why
Buying a game, I'm not reading the terms and conditions.
people say most of Gen Z will never own anything is housing, and the fact that most of Gen Z will never own a house. I think most people probably won't even start the process of getting one. Like, our generation's already having a hard time trying to get an apartment. Because nowadays, they be requiring you to make 3x the income just to rent it. Just worry if you get your money at the end of the month or not, my don't worry on the ways I had to get it. Imagine you're someone making a good salary, like $6,000 a month. You think something like $3,000 a month is good because that's half your income and it's a nice place. Then they come back saying you gotta make at least $9,000. How the f would I
9K a month, that's over like 100K a year. What are they on, man? Like, that's beyond.
be able to cough up that money? I'm gonna have to go on the streets of Gotham as Batman to do that. The worst part about it too is there's not really anything we could do about it. All these massive investment companies have bought all the houses in America because they have unlimited money. Not just in America too, they do it in other countries. And they put the prices at whatever they want to because they could.
Yeah, the people that like are managers on that are filthy rich, man. Filthy with extras, 10x Fs, man. Like, they have the most amount of money ever. They just own the housing market.
Do whatever they want. They own the market. Which is why rentals are such a common thing now. But the older generation will still be like, grr, you darn kids, always complaining and never working. Just work harder and you can buy a house like me when I was 18. Like, buddy, you bought a house for 2 chopsticks and a penny. Shut up. It took you 6 months of working at McDonald's to put a down payment on that house. It's crazy to me how the older generation still.
Yeah, like, you also got to account for inflation, but it's still like 7 times more. Even accounting for inflation, something like that, it's nuts.
Doesn't understand how much of a struggle it is to grow up in this time. They only started to realize after COVID hit and things started affecting them. The older they get, the less and less they want to listen, though. And
honestly, that's why they need to like have like not like trying to be with newer human beings in the White House, if that makes sense. Because like it's all like 70, 80-year-olds, but like grew up when houses were very, very cheap. So they don't understand like how bad it is now with inflation and stuff. So they just kind of ignore it a little bit. That's why I think they need like maybe 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds in the White House instead of getting bloody dementia falling apart human beings, man.
He will 100% follow what the older generation says, which I think is a big problem for us. The older generation is right on certain things, but other things, not so much. Like, for example, there are a lot of lazy that just sit down and scroll on TikTok all day and just goon the OF girls and don't even try to find a job because they think things are so cooked that it's not worth even trying. And our generation also definitely doesn't handle confrontations well. But what they're 100% wrong on is the old system laid out for success. Like, in their time period, the things they're advocating for, yes, you could.
Yeah, it was a lot cheaper, so it just worked in the end. But now, accounting with inflation, the wages going up, it's still not the same. It's like 4 or 5 times more for everything, which is just horrendous economy-wise for like people trying to buy stuff on below minimum wage or minimum wage. Like, it's absolutely horrendous in the end.
Go to college, come out with your degree, and be guaranteed a nice cozy office job with benefits 99% of the time. But nowadays, you gotta be Spartan fighting with your peers on LinkedIn just to be able to apply for a job. You gotta be pulling some tragic.
Yeah, and they end up saying, okay, for this job, we'd like you to have the experience. It's like, bro, you are the experience in the end. What do you mean you're asking for experience? You are the experience, McDonald's. I work for you to get the experience to work somewhere else. What do you mean you want experience? Who? What place is the experience? Should we do a free intern or something? Like, no. Not in this economy, no free interns.
Levels of backstabbing just to make it up the ladder. The biggest regret I've noticed a lot of times for people that graduated and are in debt and still can't find a job is that they always say they felt pressure by their parents and family to finish school. There is the aspect of some parents do truly want the best for their kids and they think that's the way they should go about it. But then there's this other toxic aspect of they don't even want to listen and still think their system is 100% foolproof. And they'll never admit it, but it's less about their kids graduating and a lot of times for their ego. They be wanting to flex to everybody what school their kid is going to and how good they're doing in school. And a lot of those
my kid's a doctor. It's like, bro.
Kids end up blaming and resenting their parents for it, which is why it can be hard, but you just got to make the decision for yourself. More and more people of our generation are realizing that, which I think has been a good thing. There is nobody out there who took that risk for something and it failed that say they regret taking the risk. Unless if, I don't know, maybe you try to rob a bank with your homies and you got arrested and got 20 years. Because you can always go back to that original formula and start again. It's not like school is ever going away. Don't get me wrong too, I'm not one of those that says college is useless all the time and you should become a drop shipper on TikTok.
I feel like once you get a good degree like doctoring, it'll set you back 100k, but you're almost guaranteed a good job that pays maybe 100k a year. After like maybe 7 years, you might have paid it off. And that 7 years is a long time, but then you end up making a decent amount of money. Obviously, 20% of it goes to tax because the government likes junking your money so they can have money and pay off the $1 trillion worth of debt they have to them for other countries. But yeah, I feel like once you get past that like debt part, I feel like you'll be living good in the end.
TikTok and be eternally sent to posting ads like this for people to buy.
Mustard or ketchup?
No one's buying that.
But something the older generations don't acknowledge is the amount of ways you can earn money nowadays. Everyone knows there's like a million ways you can make money online. Half of Gen Z is also Uber drivers and Door Dashers instead of even having...
Yeah, but they get paid much. Some people like get $3 just to deliver there, and like they're basically hoping you tip. And if you don't tip, they just went out there for basically gas money to pay just to pay to go out there in the end. So it gets a little iffy. That's why you should always like pay your Uber driver and like non-minimum wage, like very low minimum wage places like America and stuff. It's always good to do it. Like maybe at least $2.
Pretty much zero education to do. Some of these people are high school dropouts and make more doing those jobs than a college grad. Don't drop out of high school though. Very much stay your ass in school until you graduate. But my point is, college is a no longer end all be all for your life. A lot of our generation will sacrifice our passions and just to do it. But even if you do have the ideal scenario for the way you wanted things to go, it's not like it matters because your ass will probably never ever be able to get a house. It's insane seeing the contract.
How much is that? Yeah, that's a joke, surely. There's no way this is legit price. You have a house burnt to a crisp. Do you own this whole forest behind you, by the way? But if you're not the whole forest, it makes sense. But like if you don't and it's just this with the land, it's absolutely beyond saving, man.
Because your ass will probably never ever be able to get a house. It's insane seeing the contrast between how much you made back then and how much a house costed. You could dead ass work for 2 years with a fully saved up salary and buy a house in full. Gen Z and millennials had the worst time in growing up in the housing market. Because imagine not only having houses double the price in the span of 2 years.
You really gotta hope it fixes itself in like 10 years. Like so the new generations doesn't really, they're actual fucked as well. But like 20 years, not even 20 years, 20 years in the future when the Gen Alpha will try to buy a house, it's beyond cooked if it's not better.
Because of COVID. But also having to balance that with the cost of living. By the way, the world is still not financially stable after COVID, so getting a house isn't even a question for people, it's surviving. Which is why most people are choosing to rent. At least it's more...
But then the rent people, they end up charging more. Like rent sometimes costs more than the actual house mortgage in the end, because they're greedy and they want money.
Reliable than potentially having to go bankrupt over missing your mortgage payments. People have also been speculating that the new houses being built every year are becoming weaker and weaker. Like there's videos of construction workers.
The main reason I'll say for that, they're trying to make the houses cheaper so people can buy it. But because cheaper doesn't equal better, like quality wise, the house is just going to be worse. One thing I have seen though is 3D printed houses. They might make a small difference, but a difference is still a difference in the end. So hopefully that goes well. Surely, I know it'll bring a lot of people out the job, but like it will fix the housing a small amount. Well, they really just need to fix it somehow. They make the wages higher, which will put themselves even more debt, so it gets even iffy.
They're showing how badly some
Like, I'm pretty sure the USA doesn't make money debt-wise. Like, they're like $1 trillion in debt.
of the houses are actually built, and it's insane.
See all these $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 houses? Well, here's one. There's one. All right. I want to show you what these son bitches are made out of. You see that? Better. Okay.
Yeah, they're
this.
bad.
Ain't shit to it. I want y'all's goddamn homes built out of fucking cardboard. 200 G's. 200 G's.
It's 2025. There ain't gonna be nothing wrong with new construction.
Oh, it's bad. And you also see, like, what's it called? Like, people checking over their homes. Like, they pay someone to check over their homes, and it's completely bad. Like, they see the builders just completely do a bad job, which I don't know if it's the builders or, like, the actual material and how limited they are. So they have to, like, tweak stuff so it's end up being cheaper, but it's just how it has to be. Like, it's interesting. I don't even know. Like, they just need to fix everything. It's, like, too bad.
If I could throw a Hail Mary through the wall of my house and it makes a hole, I know that getting wiped clean when any natural disaster hits.
Honestly, a tornado, your whole house is just lifting up. It's made of cardboard.
New house is out of the question for most of Gen Z anyways, but even if you could afford it, that's what you're dealing with. Which is why a lot of people are advocating for people to buy older houses because they say they're more reliable. That American dream of buying a new spanking house after working hard is dead though. Like I'm not buying a
Yeah, I think it's beyond saving, even if they fix it, but it still won't be completely fixed how it was back in the day.
And you'll be lucky if you can even find a job for Gen Z nowadays. The job market is so cooked for so many people.
Yeah, just the experience crisis. Like, you want to work here for experience. It's like, how do you expect me to get experience with no experience? And I have to get experience to work here. But if I work here, if I can't work here, I can't get experience. But yeah, it's just the infinite loop of, I need experience to work here, but I don't have experience, which means you can never get experience in the end unless it's a free intern, which is just impossible in this economy.
People of our generation is crazy. You'll hear countless stories of people applying to like 100 jobs and getting one response back, maybe. And it's only
Yeah.
ramped up because of COVID.
And if you live in like a small town that only has like 5 jobs, like 5 new jobs like every 2 months, you're better off just day trading and gambling at that point. Like, you're not making any money.
someone who
Or
hasn't had
getting
a
a job
traditional
in the
job
end.
years. I remember in like 2019 when I was in high school applying to a bunch and getting denied. But after about a week, I managed to work at this pizza place and get hired with 0 experience. It's almost impossible to have something like that nowadays. Nowadays, people are complaining that some internships are requiring them to have experience too. Like mine.
Bro, internship is requiring experience. Like, the internship is only for experience, not even paycheck. And you're asking experience for the experience? Jesus Christ,
You're an
man.
employee. You mean I need experience? But there may just be one beacon of hope for Gen Z. Hustlers University. Nah, I'm just kidding. Over the next 20 years, Gen Z and millennials are supposed to have the biggest wealth transfer of all time. It's estimated that $84 trillion of assets are going to be passed down from the older generations to us. And that's accounting everybody 40 and below.
Yeah.
According to the new updated terms of being unk status by the internet though, if you're over the age of 20 years old now, you're too old and you won't qualify. This is all counting though if your family does have assets they could actually pass down, which a majority
Yeah.
of people might have, like a car.
Like, if you're like, yeah, a car that might be worth like 2K used now, it's just cooked. Like, a house I don't know how you meant to do it, but like, you put a house in the will, but you have to like do it a certain way so the person doesn't have to pay for the house, like it doesn't get taxed for it. It's all iffy in general.
in maybe their parents' house. But if they're
Yeah.
still paying for that shit, yeah, you better run away or you're gonna have to take over them mortgage payments. Or if your family
Yeah.
even likes you for real, they could just spend their last money on like some nice ass jewelry and die with the drip as a last. A lot of this really won't matter though, because since everything is still going up, that money's probably gonna be worth 1/3 of what it should actually be worth. The sad thing about
the
all
end,
of this
yeah.
is we all know the system is taking place in front of our eyes and we can't do anything. We know the politicians will sell us out with a couple of donos on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And the companies can keep doing it as long as it's like that. The only way this changes is when those older generations die off and the younger ones take over. Is that we become the heroes and fix all issues, which will definitely happen for sure. Because
When we're like 60 in the end, because it's nuts. Like, everybody in an election is like, 80 years old. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if every like year a politician just drops off, like an important one in
We're
the
the
end.
most caring generation and always listen to each other with open minds.
No.
We'll have like 5 solid years before we bankrupt the world. Anyways, that's gonna wrap it up. I don't want to give everybody a doomer mindset, you know, like there is still hope for things. Things have already changed with time compared to the past. Like we've gotten way better at a lot of stuff. So don't worry, everyone, have hope. We got Elon Musk running around with a chainsaw in the White House. Surely he'll do
I Am Meme was the cringiest shit I've ever heard in my life.
something. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, I love you guys consensually. And until next time, I'm out.
Well, this is the end of this video. I do enjoy this YouTuber, Tony NFG. Really good YouTuber. I don't like it. So if you do enjoy videos like this, leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what videos you want me to watch in the future. And that's me signing off.